Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for being here. Thanks for being on time, and welcome to our second Spoken and Seen Festival. We did this last year around the same time when we had just entered our first lockdown in Jamaica and just wanted a space to connect with community in a year that we had planned for a lot of in-person interaction. That obviously did not happen, and we are about to enter our second major lockdown here in Jamaica. So I thought it would be very fitting for us to do this again, just for us to connect as a community of people who love poetry. And so much has changed in the last year. I know personally for me, a lot has happened with regards to just processing celebrations, processing grieving as a community, and feeling very disconnected, and everything feeling very sensitive. A lot of hypersensitivity around these things. And one of the things that keeps me grounded, one of the things that makes me feel a lot better has always been poetry. And I know I couldn't be the only one who feels this way, so I wanted to open up the space that we have here, to allow other people to experience great poetry. And we have these amazing, gracious poets who have shared their time with us, who are willing to just share their talent with us and connect us as a community. And as we explore new ways to do this whole life in a parallelogram. So we are going to be doing this for 2 nights. So we'll be doing this today and tomorrow. And I know that a lot of people are going to message me later saying that they got the times mixed up because of daylight savings, but that's fine. This will be recorded on our Facebook and our YouTube, so you can go back and watch it. And you will want to go back and watch it because we have some amazing poets here tonight. We've decided to split the nights into the elements, which I thought would be a very fun way for the poets themselves to feel a sense of structure and feel their way around in terms of how they want to present. And also it helps me in terms of how am I going to structure this? So there's magic and there's a little bit of structure, and it's all going to work out. So tonight we're going to be having our fire and air poets, and we'll be doing this in the spirit of celebrating the life that we have, but also as a form of community grieving. And I know recently Colin's death really hit me, and I've never met him. I don't know him. I've only read his work. I only know of him as an activist, and I know the impact that he's had politically in terms of thought, ideologically, and the impact he's had across the region in terms of LGBT rights. And I thought this would be a great way for us to honor his work, including people who, like me, who don't know him, but we feel the impact of what he has done across the region. So we'll be celebrating life as mostly queer people and allies here. We'll also be grieving a bit, but doing this as a community in the best way we know how, as a literary community. So without further ado, without me talking anymore, hi Akila. Without me talking anymore, we'll just run right into it. And Jess, who a few of you may know from book club and from just being an awesome person, they will start us off with their performances. So yeah, welcome Jess, and I'm gonna get off stage now. Bye.
Hi Shivani. Hi everybody. Thank you so much for having me, Shivani and River Women Lit. This is such a beautiful idea for an event, and it's lovely to be back reading poetry for you again. So I won't do too much talking because it's late where I am. I'm in Barcelona. Usually I'm based in Edinburgh. That's where I have written most of these poems. But yeah, it's late here, and I'm worried that if I speak too much, I won't make any sense. So I'm just going to read 5 or 6 poems, depending on the time. And they're all along the theme, trying to fit with the theme of fire. This first one is called Some Things I Like Need Fire, after Lem Sissay. Some people like following the lines of dictation, but I like broken lines and lines of fire and lines of people who denounce lies together. Lies like reformation or the system is broken, like regulation is real because it's been spoken. I like the people who let the world know they won't be conned and they won't be silenced, who let their voices grate policies of violence, who have written lines to show the system is not broken, the system is the system. And I like the idea of the white lines cut, an apocalyptic shift, pyroclastic damage leaves this world in ruins. I like to imagine the system in flames, ripped from the roots and choking on blame. And for the likes of us who were told to accept this shit, picture it burning and broken and torn at the seams, washed clean, room to breathe, 10 tons of nothing, a foundation for peace. I like endings that show us our dreams. I think sticking along with the theme of the fire that comes from injustice and also the fire that comes from wanting to do something about it and activism, I'll read a second poem. It's called Quiet in the Dark. Silence does not exist for the living. The best we can do is a quiet place, an absence of loud noise or a whisper on the end of a breath. Even with the sounds turned off and our mouths shut, lips sealed, there will always be the low hum of a light switch, electricity moving behind a wall, inside insulated wire, the smallest footsteps of an ant outside, wind entering a room through a gap by the window. Even in the dark, you will hear the dull beats of your own heart, creaking sounds of your bones' angles, teeth tap in a head rubbing sideways on a pillow, above where your body is settling, but kinetic, all the while communicating that you are still alive. So even when you say you're sorry for your silence, that you did not speak up when you could have shouted with us, remember, silence is only attainable in truest form at final rest, when hearts and bones and breathing stopped. And though you did not shout or speak up with us or cry, you still joined a chorus much louder than forgiveness. And then the final one on this theme is, it's called Respectability Politics. And I attempted to write a golden shovel and I failed at writing a golden shovel. So this is a fake golden shovel with maps by the yeah. And I apologize to anybody who doesn't know what a golden shovel is because I've now said it 4 times. People hang upside down just to be up. You're walking too straight, this theatre is enough. I want to hear you say you'll never be a prop, but instead you say, it's time we linked up. And you say, take the hands of the ones who don't fuck, you say, with you. It's better than being out to float, you say. 100 miles from allies and the glory of a vote. You say, I love you. But to belong is the bell in the heart that calls you. And from the past, we have the chorus of maps drawn out by the idlers before you, and they all lead to the same place. Kilted off. Wait, they don't love you like I love you. Once you have decided to stray, nothing can keep you here in the fold of our kind. You will miss the moment nothing is the same. So spin round, look up, straight line, don't stray. I feel like saying thank you after each poem because I can't see any reactions because I'm just looking at my Word document and I can't actually tell if anybody can hear me. So I'm going to assume that this is all fine. Otherwise, I'd have a notification from Jeraine. This next poem is, it's still tangentially related to fire. I wrote this poem about a friend who, whenever we are together, they light a sort of fire inside me. So it's called And You Will Meet Me There Too. I find my joy in you. Of course, I find it in me too, but there is something magnificent in the way you choose to survive. Incremental changes have reintroduced me to you for years, as if you are reinventing yourself like a rock star. But I know it's more like you change so the world can change. And it is a joy to see you every time, even with the destruction and the violence and the erasure you left behind. You found purpose in fluidity. I cherish the past, but I want to see you in every possible future. And my penultimate poem, I think I have time for 2 more. It's called Comfort. There is comfort in this, to tell the truth and to be understood, not leaving behind the words you have already tasted on your tongue, but swallowed before they could be heard. There is comfort in being heard and not longing for ears that will orient towards you only when they feel like listening, but to really lean into the sound of your voice as you speak and respond to the melodies of your honesty. And honestly, discomfort comes from holding in tainted air, heavy with worry, because what if this does not move them? I want to smoke cigarettes in the sun and tell you the truth. And I want you to wrap me in cotton and tell me you heard, and comfort me with your attention and promise to care. That, for me, is comfort in this, our home, and the words we share. And last but not least, I mean, maybe least, depends on the listener. It's called A Year of Giving. And to bring it back to the theme of fire, I guess I was thinking about the fact that fire can have all these negative connotations, but also fire is the thing that gives us life most of the time. And I think it's important to appreciate that. It's got this destructive element, but it's also one of the most important elements in our planet, in our humanity. So yeah, A Year of Giving. There are many ways to give from yourself, and I have spent summer's hours giving the gift of time to others who needed time to grow. There is a fine line between night and day. You can miss it with your eyes wide open, looking at long wish lists. I know now that giving is seasonal, and what was needed in spring may be in abundance in autumn. What I could no longer give in summer, I found in November. What really is the result of a year of giving? This year I got tired, so tired that I forgot my name. And before then I was so inspired to change. Later, I got time to reflect and remove myself from giving so much. Within that I got rest and a mirror to look at the gifts I knew were for me: love, sunlight, and a space to be. A promise to give yourself when you are able, but know that as the calendar unravels, we oscillate between giving and getting and needing and having and loving and wanting and resting and working, but nothing is more important than remembering that a year is just one measurement of your body, and the seasons will tell you which one you need. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much for sharing with us, Jess. I keep saying I could listen to you all day, so thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. That was fun. Eerily quiet, but fun.
Okay. So That is Jess, and I'm gonna put Jess's socials back up so you can follow Jess on Twitter and Instagram, and hopefully they post more work. But absolutely amazing stuff. Thank you. Uh, so our next reader is Shivani. Is she still here? She kind of disappeared on me. No. Oh, there she is. Okay. Hi.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us. I'm just going to get off screen and let you do your thing.
Thank you so much for having me, Julian, and fellow member. It's really lovely to be in this space with all of you, and to be in this space thinking, as I've been thinking for some time now, about what a life means without Colin Robinson in it, though to tell you the truth, I am still in that very real space of feeling presence of Colin everywhere I go. I've been spending a great deal of time with his collection of poems, You Have Your Fire High Head, which, if people have not welcomed this book into their life, uh, sorry it sounds like I'm proselytizing a bit, but I'm very emotional thinking about what this book has done for me and meant to me, and how these poems have been living with me since 2016. Some of them before that, and I was lucky enough to see drafts of some of the work. And I can tell you that Colin's poetry will always be living with you if you decide to live with it. And I hope that for those of you who are new to the work will give it room and time and light in your life. And I am getting a message to turn up my microphone. So people let me know if this is slightly better. I have a microphone fairy slash wizard in the background who is helpfully sending me messages. So how's that? I want to believe that it's better. Um, maybe I'll spy on the chat. So is there no phone one? No. Sorry, is it terribly distracting? No? Is there any improvement, folks? Let me know before I start reading. Oh no. Alright, let me try to adjust my sound volume. How about that? Any better? Or I'm getting advice to shout. Anything? No? I'm sorry. This must be very frustrating for all of you, not just me. Okay, how about this? Maybe? No? Okay. Well, I determined I'm just going to shout. So we're going to read as loud as I can and hope that that helps. I I'd like to share some work from Everyone Knows I'm a Haunting, which is the poem that the poems in here are the ones that I think I spent the most time living closest to these in the company of Colin, which is to say that he spends quite some time with this group as well. And the importance of that to me cannot be understated. And since we spent so much time trying to do sound mathematics, I'm probably only going to read two of them, or three at the most. Camp burned down. You and me and the fires we used to keep each other alive. The fire at Camp Balandra. The fire at Fort George. The fire at Fuck My Throat while my mother is on the phone. And the island's flooding, so everyone's indoors. But you are the skinniest rat not provided for by the government, unlawful from here to Tobago and back. There are small welts on the backs of your hands as you braid me down to the campsite. This is the camp of Sunday afters, your father's car radio melting our eardrums while you move in me. This is the fort of no retracing. Every place on my body you touch, burned nova, burned past recognition. You burn me into an atlas, into a Form 1 geometry tin, gripped inside a prefect's handspan, cop to cheap Vaseline, burning me something new in each fire. Snow might come to Tunapuna, and your father would still spill my guts in front of the market. There would be hail in the public library, and your father's pig cutlass opening my thigh. The weather could vomit itself, turn the catalogues of gale and gust inside out, and the biggest damage would be what I've done to you. Remember the camp at the edge of the island, the white stones brining to nothing as you nerve ground them between thumb and tongue, scattering the wet cremations on my forehead. I bless you, you said. I bless you, hair. Nothing touched us except the rest of the world. In thinking about Colin and thinking about the poems that I worked on and worked through with Colin, there were, of course, queer poems, but I think queer poems can simply and complexly mean poems that are as invested in the everyday and the mundane and the sweaty and the triumphant as would whatever an ordinary poem is. And I'm so grateful to Colin for enabling a space for so many of us to think of our poems as not only holy or subversive, but magnificently everyday. I would like to read just one more poem, and I'm going to try to read it without crying because it is the last poem I read on a stage next to Colin. And talking to you now I realized it really is the last one. Uh, on this stage anyway. Cross-dressing at Diwali Nagar. The glass bangles are the easiest to steal. I use spit to force them on you, knuckling into each one with a soft growl. You succumb, wrists out, pink glancing on yellow, hitting red, each one cheap and pure. My sister's first orny comes next. It's thin, like stretched surgical gauze, spangled like America, and I smooth it over your cheeks before I kiss the gaps moths have loved with their teeth. For sindoor, red lipstick smashed under thumb. For tikka, a rhinestone glued between your eyes. We giggle like blind chicks gaggling free of the slaughterhouse, and I scoop cotton candy into your mouth under the forearms of Mother Lakshmi, my sari and yours, trailing the wooden floorboards of a mehendi booth. Inside, women and girls are paying for sunbursts, cloud spirals, lotus vines looping one good wedlock after another into their veins. For adoration, I steal a cone of henna in both your names. On your knees, under the stage full of dancers, I trace a lotus onto your back, a broken moon between the segments of your toes, a trishula in the furrow of your brow, its three prongs splitting open when you catch me by the wrist, your bangles courting the blink and startle of dear light. Thank you.
I had to come on and clap because I know there's no audible audience, but thank you so much, Shivani. Thank you. I would love to just sit and talk with you or just hear you talk some more about your memories with Colin, because I think it's so important for us to share to the everyday. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Also, this needs to be a thing, like the everyday queer. We're not always dramatic and protesting. Some days are just normal. So, yes, thank you. And thank you all for being here, especially everyone in the comments on Facebook and on YouTube. So thank you. We are going to move into the more airy side of our evening. I'm trying to shift with the light. It's not working with me, but it's fine. So we will be shifting now towards air, and we will be having Rhea perform. Yeah, everyone's coming in with even more love for Shivani. So yeah, Rhea, welcome to the stage. And no, I'm not hearing you. Hold on. You have to unmute your mic.
Okay, hi.
We should have a bingo for how many times you say you have to unmute your mic. Every week, couple of months. All right. So thank you for being here, and I'm going to get off stage. And the stage is yours. Thank you.
All right. Okay, afternoon, everyone. I wanted to start with pepper pot soup because in conceptualizing what to read about today, I thought I would do some poems that are kind of this one's a bit like pensive about like frustration with privilege and the way that it's contemptuous, and then a few that are about grief, and then shifting to a few other ones. So I'm going to start with pepper pot soup. Oh, and it's a palindrome about the Tivoli incursion in 2010. The feeling won't go away. Scotch bonnet burns my wrist, forehead, cheek. The smell won't come off, the acrid kitchen smell of garlic. As I slice, chop, pepper, callaloo, okra, onion, laughter peels in and out does the crash and retreat of waves. The sockless men are in white loafers, the women in chiffon sarongs and wide-brimmed hats. The casual, ruddy-faced men drink Appleton and joke raucously over the soca music. Palm fronds rustle, and I will make another pot of soup for the summer job that I'd hoped would show me what divides canoes from sailboats. I wipe my forehead with my pepper-drenched hands because sometimes the pain is nice. It takes everything else out of my mind. Almost. In any case, the party goes on at the yacht club. A voice carries through the window. The state of emergency is spoiling my weekend. Dad calls from Kingston saying he heard there are bomb threats on radio stations, police stations burnt, bullets raining, policemen shot dead, and who knows how many sockless ghetto boys. The radio broadcast says 27 dead so far in Tivoli. The radio broadcast says 79 dead in Tivoli so far. Who knows how many sockless ghetto boys rain bullets. Policemen are shot dead. The body counts a lie. Soldiers are burning the bodies. The state of emergency is spoiling my weekend. That voice carries through the window. The party goes on at the yacht club. Out of my mind? Almost. In any case, sometimes the pain is nice. It takes over everything else. I wipe my forehead with my pepper-drenched hands. I had hoped it would show me what divides canoes and sailboats, the summer job. But I will make another pot of soup as palm fronds rustle raucously over the soca music, and the casual, ruddy-faced men drink Appleton and joke with women in chiffon sarongs and hats with brims wide like waves. The sockless men kick off their white loafers, and I hear their laughter over the crash and retreat as I slice callaloo, chop okra, chop onion. The smell won't come off. The acrid kitchen smell of garlic. Scotch bonnet burns my wrist, forehead, cheek. The feeling won't go away. Okay. All right. This one I've actually never really read or put anywhere. I wrote it a while back after my grandmother passed, and I've recently renamed it I Never Saw a Dancer Dancing Die. I remember it was February. Joshua found me down in the laundry room taking bottle cap shots on the cooler, and he tackled. And Mommy said if we didn't stop drinking, she'd get rid of the liquor. And the next day, my sisters choked on their eulogies, but I read fine. Uncle Ollie's food was delectable as always. That day, the dining table was heavy with rice and peas, roasted lamb, pork, and chicken, 3 kinds of salad and garlic bread, and his wife made amazing pastry. That day, there were almond, pecan, and berry tarts, 2 kinds of chocolate cake, pecan and apple pie, and vanilla ice cream. That day, my newly thin aunt pointed out my paunch, so I walked back to the dessert table for a few more tarts. The law-abiding waiter refused us drinks, and we pitched a fit, and Daddy interceded, saying we could each have just one. When everyone was gone, we had a few bottles, and I remember going through her things that all smelt of sandalwood, and her jewelry, which she wrapped in paper towels in a Rubbermaid tub that they put under my bed. And I recall of everything most after the service, my car sickness when I held my grandma in my lap in a metallic clay blue pot. Okay, check this. Okay. Okay, hold on, let me check. Apparently my camera froze. Oh, sorry, all this technical stuff. partly my neighbor is having a party, and then also I don't know what my camera is doing, but can everyone see me? Okay. All right, I will just continue. All right. Okay. All right, then I will keep reading. All right. Apparently I'm frozen, but that's okay. Dialectic. Okay, and then this one is a bit of an odd one. I named it Dialectic, Blind Date with a Man Just Like Me. You tell me you are a solipsist, and only true friends, organic food, only the truth will do. You say my life is punctuated by meals and hunger, ticket stubs, diplomas, verifying that I've lived and got around the place from time to time in my growing, decaying carbon case. My childhood, a fable. The memory psychologists who know everything about that sort of thing could tell me if I was inclined to ask. But I don't think you're entirely right, so I tell you that I am a golden apple that browns with exposure to the air when bitten. A bit of a nonsense line, but I just wanted to tell you something new. I didn't like the way you said you have thought about what all of those people think about. You seem so unimpressed with us. I suppose you, at least, are not the dry and technical sort of genius. Being the intuitive being that you are, you started to hear the still, sad music of humanity. Or was it the still, sad music of humanity? Isn't it sad that humanity is sad either way? Good thing you can metacognize out of it. It must be horrible to be shackled by ignorance, you say, of all those damn saved souls frolicking out there in their freshly washed grace. I suggest that maybe they have time to think about fun things since they've got all the God stuff sorted. Wait, so you can build God every time you've had some coffee? Wow. If you can make gods, then why is our world so... Chaos is a sort of order, you explain. It would be nicer, though, with some more class and without offending olfactory experiences. I don't tell you that you smell like cigarettes because you probably already know. Despite it all, I can't deny I'm intrigued. How did you get so... At least I have substance, you say. Yes, you are full of depth and death like winter. Your dead leaves, dark thoughts, and the dirty magazines you read like Time and National Geographic make you a character. You prefer your mother to your father, naturally. We are Oedipus or Electro, or so they tell us. Being so noble, so brilliant, so self-sacrificing is getting tiring, you tell me. And especially their ignorance is getting tiring. I wonder, if you could build God, why you made us all so... You will go back to your origins, to your winter. They will knock on the side of your head and wonder in amazement how they managed to get out and how all of that information managed to get in. Okay. All right. I'm gonna now read Warrior Princess. You have been reading some things and you are pretty sure you are a feminist. One day you wake up and Shakespeare cannot be about Juliet anymore. Your new tragic heroine is Ophelia or Cleopatra. You could die for grief or honor, but not for some fly-by-night hot-headed cousin-killing boy. Perhaps it started with that dust jacket blurb you read as Woman in Chains played on stereo, and you discovered the song was, in part, about the female spirit in men the patriarchy suppresses to everyone's demise. You decide, this mess will not be my lot. It goes well until you meet the mottled men, drop praises on the Antonys and Hamlets, who in return drop icicle daggers, perchance not really meaning to hurt you. All right, and then I think just one more, it's quite quick. I wrote it doesn't really have a title. I wrote it kind of halfway through last year, June 2020, if anyone remembers. There was the pandemic, and then all of the drama. So yeah. June 2020. Island lover. The world has me too many kinds of weary, and my body longs to rest itself on you again. There is no going back, our bacchanal, that fox on the full moon, that biting, cloudless night you loan me your second coat, the myriad mundane things I cleave to about you that don't quite add up to a life history. But if you were here, this heart, heaving with all we still bear today, might still on your salt forged self. And yeah, thank you so much everyone for having me, and to Jeraine, and that's it.
Thank you so much for sharing and reading with us, Rhea. It's always, always, always a blessing to have you with us. So thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Tech issues and everything aside, it was amazing. So don't worry about it. Thanks. So yes, I love this comment about bars. Bars on bars. Rhea has no manners whatsoever. I love it. So now we're gonna have Andre come on and share with us. Ooh, is everyone coming on muted?
I mean, I had to, in the spirit of the event. Good night, everyone.
All right, I'm gonna get off stage now, but thank you so much for being with us here.
Oh, it's a pleasure. So my name is Andre Bagoo. I'm a poet and writer from Trinidad and Tobago. And, it's been really heartening to hear all of these tributes paid to Colin tonight. Thank you, Jess, Shivani, and Rhea, for your work. I think, for a while, we were preparing for this, for the fact that Colin was going to die, but nothing quite has prepared any of us for this. And like Shivani, I am too still processing this. First, the poem starts after the fight, when I go down on my knees and caress the flower of your forgiving cock, remembering the first time we kissed, empty streets confronting us with ourselves. When I'm laid in bed, I see you most clearly, but I see him too, all the versions of you jumbled up like the pitch lake's detritus, cans, branches, minerals. I didn't realize there would be so many firsts. First kiss, her lips absolutions for sins not yet enjoyed, for being unreachable. Then the beach that yawned with serene rage and spit a man at me. His hole harbored my fealty, held me until I saw in him a mirror, a wet face. Then the professor, whose library was a manifesto of yearning, for wetted fingers, for marble hardness, and I made room for his. A new country where every day was the first day of something, and every night seagulls flew tall as dreams over fields burnt by bird of paradise. All of the new, all of the old, knowledge, a budding candle, candle turning to blaze. I didn't realize there would be so many. Days as clear as coming out, days of coming out and coming out and coming out, because we are all of us stars that come out too soon for twilight, too late for dawn. And even after they die, there might still be light. Chapter 2. That morning, the radio was playing a song that felt familiar, even if I didn't know the words, didn't understand the language. I recognized the grainy static, the tinny voice, the muffled beats, as though they were my thrumming heart, as though they were the rain that had fallen last night on the galvanized roof, as you slept on top of me, smelling of too much cologne, your two Venezuelan friends huddled on a bed in the corner, and something rising in their chest like bread dough, breaths, soft clouds now floating into the air as I dream out of the house, the yard. I pass the chickens, I pass the dogs, and someone follows me. Am I remembering correctly? I have a strange feeling, as I did the night before, a feeling that there are sagas inside of me waiting to be written. Epics as heavy as the gold chain you wore as you thrust into me, and I tried to muffle my moans because it was all so sketchy. And even as I surrendered to pleasure, I still thought the weight of your pendant slapping my flesh was like the weight of something I might one day carry, some foundation stone, some temple. I didn't know where the taxi stand was, and I asked a man who gave me directions, then decided he would walk the short distance with me. Later, I roamed Port of Spain, knowing everybody could tell what I had done, could smell the smoke from the club on me, could look into my eyes and see the drag queens, the pole dancer, the small room with walls of mirrors, the graveled yard outside on which footsteps crunched like whispered secrets, and groups of friends looked at each other, cautiously, from a distance, because tomorrow was the question. And the last poem I'm going to read is called Because the Sky is Lighter Than Paper, a Manifesto of Feathers. I just want to say, even though, we're all coming to terms with Colin's death, and even though to some extent I still can't believe it, and I don't want to believe it, because I want to believe that he's still alive. I want to believe that his spirit is still very much with us, and I want to believe that all of us can carry forward that spirit, like maybe people in a crowd would carry candles, and they would become this great light. Because the sky is lighter than paper, a manifesto of feathers. Blue because my wings are the bookman's pages. Blue because the island is holy, the wind high. Blue as in azure, as in cadmium, as in noise. Blue and black because kisses hurt. Blue when they saw me, they saw us. Blue the night we were walking home, Josh, you and I, and the homophobic thugs. Blue the night outside the art gallery when they chased us, unwinged. Blue like Mary's robes, blue like the altar boy gown I wanted because it was fabulous. Blue when they threw me out of the church and I dreamt of Jesus, truly blue. And the cherub has turned blue, and the angel has turned blue, blue into blue Krishna blue, and I saw him one day in my dreams. Blue shirt of blue school uniform, blue invisibility. Blue, he touched my spine, and flutes sang in me. Blue, both mirror and mute. Blue the walls, the stones, the tomb. Blue once, but now. Blue, coolitude, créolité, blue. Blue, ontilité, négritude. Bâtiment, not bâtiment. Blue for the way my heroes are dying. But blue mad for the second coming. Blue veins on every dick I ever sucked. Blue power, blue notes, the currency of blue. Melodies you, rubber orchestras, true. True blood, true blue, blue collar, and blue scrubs, fighting blue coats. Blue ink for blue manifestos of blue feathers, disobedient walls, Graffiti is blue. Jab Molasi is blue and may be the second coming. Thank you, everyone. It's so wonderful to be here.
Thank you, and thank you for sharing with us. It means so much to me.
Oh.
And congrats on being nominated for your book with Bocas.
Yes. Oh yeah, thank you very much.
I have it here. So, so congrats. And I really love your poems. They aren't in Pitch Lake, right? Because I don't remember reading these. These are new.
These are new poems written in the last year, actually. I've had various commissions. The last poem I read was a specific commission that I did for the artist Wendy Nanan alongside Shivani, actually. And it was very much written with Colin in mind.
Yeah, they're really beautiful. So thank you so much for sharing. I thought, okay. So everyone, I have the links in the description with the links to some of the writers. I'm going to go back and edit so I can share everyone who has published works, whether on blogs or they have books available. I'm going to post those there so you can follow up with these writers. They're all amazing, and I'm grateful that they are spending their evening with us and celebrating, but also grieving. And there's a lot of feelings here that we're processing, and I'm glad that we can share them together. So thank you all for being here. I say that a lot. I'm starting to sound like Princess Diaries. Like, thank you for being with us. Anyways, so our last performer for today is Moon. I'm going to add Moon to the screen now, checking if there's anything. Here we go. Moon, you're muted.
Hello?
Yeah,
right. We're good now.
Great. So thank you.
Okay, that's the guitar behind my head. I'm sorry if it looks weird. Thank you for having me. And everybody has been so wonderful. You guys are amazing.
I'm gonna get off stage now.
Okay, do you want me to just start? Yeah. I didn't know Colin personally, and I'm only newly acquainted with his work, but I appreciate the stories that have been shared about him. I can see that, he has had a really big impact on many people's lives. I look forward to reading more of his work. And so blessings to anybody who's missing him right now. Due to what's been happening, I'm going to start off by honoring our women. May all mothers know that they are loved, and may all sisters know that they are strong, and may all daughters know that they are worthy, that the circle of women may live on. Well, hey, well, hey, well, hey, well, hey, well, hey, may all mothers know that they are loved, and may all sisters know that they are strong, and may all daughters know that they are beautiful, that the circle of women may live on. May all mothers know that they are loved, and may all sisters know that they are strong, and may all daughters know that they are powerful, that the fire of the goddess may burn on. Hey, 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 ah. Hey, 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 ah. Hey, 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 ah. Hey, 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 ah. Hey, 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 ah. Hey, 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 ah. That the circle of women may live on. That the circle of women may live on. That the circle of women may live on. That the fire of the goddess may burn on. We all want to be loved, even if we don't say it. Tell me, what do you know of love? I want to know, how can love grow amidst this love, amidst these lies? We all want to be loved. We all want to be loved. We all want to be loved. Ooh, we are It's really weird not being able to interact with anybody on the other side. I'm gonna do one more song. Have you ever listened to your soul? Really try to discover what it knows. You may be surprised at what you find. This is how you know it inside. 'Cause I know we are all connected. Yes, I know we are one. I've seen things that haven't happened. Yeah, I hear what you want. The stars couldn't number the ways in which I love you. The stars couldn't number the ways in which I care. Until the sun goes around the moon, I will love you. And when history is hers again, we'll know. Have you ever heard the earth story? Her memory is great, she never forgets. Every sound written in time forever. And if God is a word, you better speak with no regret. If God is a word, you better speak with no regret. If God is a word, you better speak with no regret. 'Cause I know we are connected. I know we are one. I remember things that haven't happened yet. I hear what you won't see. The stars couldn't number the ways in which I love you. The stars couldn't number the ways in which I care. Until the sun goes around the moon, I will love you. And when history is hers again, we'll know. When history is hers again, we'll know. Thank you so much, everybody. Okay. I think that's it.
Thank you so much for performing and sharing, Moon.
Thank
There's
you.
so much love for you in the comments right now, and it's all well deserved.
I should go look it up.
So
You are
thanks.
so amazing. Thank you.
And you'll be performing poetry for us tomorrow?
You know, I think so. I think I signed up, yes.
So for those who don't know, Moon does everything. I'm not kidding. So Moon, they sing, paint, write.
I don't sew.
Pardon?
I don't sew.
Oh, you don't sew?
No.
Yeah. So also for everything in the world, Moon doesn't sew. Noted. So thank you. And thanks to everyone. I'm gonna just throw you all back on stage now. I don't know if Jess has like collapsed into sleep because I know it's really late in Barcelona.
Jess is in Barcelona.
Yeah, I think Jess is gone.
I think Rhea is gone too. I can't see.
Oh no, you're there.
I have not collapsed.
I love your outfit, Jess.
I'm on the sofa.
So thank you. And Shivani is holding Colin's book that you can get from Peepal Tree. I'm going to see if we can get some in the Rebel Women Lit store as well. And I would highly recommend reading it. I still don't have words. I still have not been able to process what has happened, even though we all knew it was coming. It still hit multiple communities hard. So thank you. And it's been a rough time. I know in Trinidad, in Jamaica as well, with regards to gender-based violence. There's just so much happening right now in communities I know that we all care deeply about. So it's really nice to have this space where we can virtually still support each other and let each other know that we're here and you're people that still care. So thank you all for giving me that this evening. Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for giving us the space to do that.
I'm so glad you brought this back.
So thank you. I hope everyone who's watching at home feels all of this love, and I think that's Andre's crickets in the background, so you know this is the real Caribbean.
Yes, guilty as charged.
So thank you so much, and we're going to be doing this again tomorrow with another set of poets and performers. So join us same time, which is 5 p.m. Jamaica time, 6 p.m. Eastern time. I believe that's 6 p.m. in Trinidad as well. I'm sorry, I was just lamenting how ridiculous time zones are. But they will be up on our YouTube and Facebook pages, so you can still go back and watch them if you missed it. So thank you all, and I am gonna go back and take a screenshot of this, so we're all going to smile for like 3 seconds. So I can get that screenshot. So I'm gonna count down. Okay. Thank you all.
Wait, we took it already? Wait.
Were you not screen ready?
Just kidding.
So thank you. I don't know, it's just been a very heavy time. So I kind of wanted Spoken and Seen to be very fun and uplifting, but it's just been a very heavy period these last couple of weeks, and I'm glad that you can still share space and we can still celebrate each other even though we are grieving and frustrated and there's just so much tension. So thank you for
this has been wonderful.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll be in better spirits soon, and I can knock 2 pan and wine and dance and sing really soon. We'll get there. We'll get there again. Yeah. Anyways, if you don't have anything to say, I'm gonna end this. Thank you all for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you. Just thank you to everybody for listening and for all of the performers. And I'm sorry for this big loss in your community, but you're all doing amazing work. And thanks for being in community with me today.
Thanks, Jess. And for those who don't know, I just kind of approach Rebel Women Lit assuming everyone knows that we're all just one big family. There's no need to do long introductions and greetings. But for those who don't know, Rebel Women Lit is a literary community that started off as a book club here in Jamaica. We're very queer, we're very feminist, we're very unapologetic. We really don't care about making anybody feel comfortable or happy with those things if they're not comfortable and happy with those things. We are here, we're not going anywhere, and we're creating space for people who enjoy the literary arts in all its forms, whether it be oral, written, through music, comedy, any sort of stories matter, and they build empathy. And I'm grateful for everyone who is so giving towards this space. So thank you all for sharing. Thank you all for giving towards this space, because that's how we create it. So yes. With that, please go drink some tea, go drink some rum, some scotch, wine, whatever it is. Take care of yourself. Be kind, be gentle. It's a very rough time, and know that there are people who love you and care for you, even though I've only actually met 2 of you in person on stage right now, but I love you so much. But thank you. Yeah, so be kind to yourself, and good night. Bye.
Good night. Bye.
Bye. Good night, everyone.